Thus I have heard. At one time, the Blessed One was dwelling in the rural domain of Ultra Mountain, with a great gathering of monks and a great assembly of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One was absorbed in the samadhi of the many aspects of phenomena called profound appearance. At the same time, Venerable Abong Rinpoche, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, looking at the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, saw the five skandhas and their natural entities. Then, through the power of the Buddha, Venerable Abong said to Venerable Abong Rinpoche, Bodhisattva Mahasattva, how should a son of lineage train who wishes to follow the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom? Thus he spoke, and Venerable Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, answered the Venerable Shariputra with these words: Shariputra, those men and women of lineage who wish to follow the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom should look at it like this. The five skandhas should be seen purely in their natural emptiness. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form also is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, recognition, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, like this, all phenomena are emptiness, and having no characteristics, they are unborn and unceasing. They are not impure nor pure. They neither decrease nor increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no recognition, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no appearance, no sound, no smell, no taste, no sensation, no phenomena. There is no quality of sight, and so on, until no quality of mind and no quality of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance and no exhaustion of ignorance, and so on, up to no old age and death, and no exhaustion of old age and death. In the same way, there is no suffering, no origin, no ending, and no path, no wisdom, no attainment, no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, since there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and abide by means of the profound perfection of wisdom. And since their minds have no obscurations, they have no fear. Transcending falsity, they attain nirvana. All Buddhas who dwell 3 times rely upon the perfection of wisdom, and they become true, complete Buddhas of unsurpassable, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of the profound perfection of wisdom, the mantra of insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the unequaled mantra, the mantra which calms all suffering should be known as truth, for it is not deceptive. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed. Tayata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasangate Bodhisattva. Shariputra, this is how Bodhisattva Mahasattva should train in the profound perfection of wisdom. Then the Blessed One arose from that samadhi and said to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva,
No.
that he had spoken loud.
You sit.
Well done, O son of the lineage, it is so. O son of the lineage, since it is just so, the profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced just as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will also rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Shariputra, Venerable Abong Rinpoche, Bodhisattva Mahasattva, and the entire gathering, as well as worldly beings, gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, rejoiced and praised the words of the Blessed One. Ramadan Juzun Jambe Yano Shanze Lo Kange Lo Jenye Jenje Nyenda Nanda Raseve Jenye Denge Jeje Zeshe Nyeje Doga Lebanzen Lo Sibe Zara Mare Menton Donge Jezembe Dozo Gela Buje Daze Yala Doje Yande Son Doda Jedo Nyemo Nyeno Leje Jado Jose Chin Mare Mise Donge Nyongo Chenye Jenze Redona Dene Doje Saje Dazen Yende Lezo Nyongo Jodo Jodo Jenye Jenje Dali Mise Jambe Yanande O Arabazanande O Arabazanande O Arabazanande Zelen Cheje Chera Zenje Dali Demo Memba Rasene Kadan Denje Shanlon Doba Ye Lodre Bobe Nawan Sendozo Antes Shonzar I'm going to you. I give you. What's trying to do? Trying to manage it. Om Benzar. Om
Ta Yue Zhuo Yue Zhe Wa Gong Yue Song Ma Li Shi Jia Ji Jin Si Bi Du Xia Ji Su Wu De La Su Wan De Tu Ji Jin Bu Di Xin Tu Ji Chang Jiu Zi De Lu Ba Da Na Ru Ba Bin Ju Zhu Bi Ba Da A Di Xiang Nyang Li Xin La Ji La Su Wan De Xiang Ba Tu Mi Yin Ni Na Zhu De Jiu Di Di Yue De Dang Zhe Bi Bi Ge San Nu Ni Su Ni Ba Jia Jin Shi Bi Ji La Su Wan De Yin Lu Yin Shu Jin Lu Zhu Dang Da Wan Zhou Ba Zhi Bi Ke Ju Qin San Jie Gun Jiu Pa Ba Ya Se Su Sa Mo Da Yue Ji La Su Wan De Xi Zhu Dang Bi Chong A Di Xia Ga Dang Din Bi Mi Bo Zhong Den Jie Nian Zhu La Xi Gu Qi Song La Su Ga Dang La Ma Na La Su Wan De Gang Jin Xin Li Su Je Tsongkapa Me Da Ri Bi Wan Shu Je Tsongkapa Da Ma Din Bi Da Bo Ke Zhu Jie Ya Si Ju Ba Je La Su Wan De Jia Song Gun De La Ma Do Je Chang Gang La Gang De Xin Yin Su Zong Ne Zhuo Dan Tu Mo Ngu Zhu Zi Zi Bi Zhen Jie La Ma Na La Su Wan De Rang Jia Su La Gun La Ta Ye Mi Ge San Ta Ba Zhi Bi Jiu Ngu Chu Zi Wei Zhi Bi Ta Ge Zi Ba Yi Sen Zi Xin Ni Na La Su Wan De Gun Du Yang Da La Ma Dang Zhi Mi Zhi Zhi Be La Long Shi Qin Sa Dang Lang Jie Yun Din Zhao Zu Nin Du Ji Chang Ge Gu Pong Nian Do Yi Shu San Jie Chu Dang Zu Ji Chu Na La Shang Chu Ba Du Da Ni Jiu Su Qi Da Ge Jin Su Ji Bi Su Na Ji Zhou La Pi Xie San Jin Zhu Ba Shu San Jie Chu Dang Zu Ji Chu Na La Shang Chu Ba Du Da Ni Jiu Su Qi Da Ge Chu Ji Ji Bi Su Na Ji Zhou La Pi Xie San Jin Zhu Ba Shu San Jie Chu Dang Zu Ji Chu Na La Shang Chu Ba Du Da Ni Jiu Su Qi Da Ge Ji 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 Bi Su Na Ji Zhou La Pi Xie San Jin Zhu Ba Shu Qi 刚刚这一点是早起不去，除了什么东西，是吧？看个去。
We should treat our time as a very precious, without wasting it. That's very important.
到底是除了么东西呢？点到去中国我是了的。
When speaking about not wasting one's time, then whatever the time that you have, it is important to use the time appropriately. In other words, engaging in some kind of activity that is meaningful to oneself and others.
他开始中国的时呢，他起码就点到去中国了，得什么上是。
So what is meant by then for making it meaningful and purposeful is now when speaking about making one's time meaningful is a meaningful directed towards the future, because the past is already past. We cannot reverse back to the past. So therefore speaking about spending one's time meaningfully Is the meaningful here referring to the meaningful of one's future life? What future, sorry.
다 뭐뭐 수익 된다 주고에서는 랑이 예 된다 주고인 현이 된다 주고인 생기 예빠도 그거 당가서 거스 봐.
What is the meaningful means of the future meaningful here? The meaningful of future is the meaningful of the future is referring to the fulfillment of the purpose of self and others.
나 된다 가르 주고에서나 아니 저와시마 편취 아니 델라소베니 코안에 땐데 대화 줘야지 예빠도 된다지 주고인 세대 당가서 되리 예빠도 그에게 잘라지.
So the future referring to one's own, the future life, in fact. And so what is, what really means by saying that making one's future life meaningful is to attain liberation from samsara.
어나 딘릭 잘라 된다 되는 된다 돼 가지고 위해서는 좋아지 따나 아니 당가 돼서게 컴버티는 되게서나 되스 되게 말이 semba 충자리.
So then how can you really engage in activities that really makes our activities meaningful, which becomes a fulfillment of the of one's purpose of one's own self and that others. So where you will be engaging in those actions or the activities is now. So here, if we think about it, you're being in one house where I am in right now, maybe a not appropriate way to think of.
나 간제 제거서는 나 랑기 된제 난 갖다 양바. 아니 뒤에는 아니 덤버 투비양 뭐 아니 자선 외제 랑지제.
So now, in fact, you must think about that you're being in a place where the Buddha Shakyamuni is. By visualizing Buddha in front of oneself, at the level of one's forehead, in the space, radiating light with the various colors of the light is radiating from the Buddha's body.
인선에 컴버디기 사나마 동안에는 난카타 양은 인선 타입이 스진에 랑이 랑다 랑년도 여바지 사나다.
Not being, limiting one's visualization of being oneself being in this particular house, but rather oneself being in the space. Think about the place that you visualize as vast as possible, so that you can think of all other sentient beings equal to the space.
인선에 템바 취지 생활라 내가 속에 단지 된다 좀 쉬어야 돼. 가서 두개 있어야지.
So in the presence of the Buddha, I will fulfill the purpose of myself and others. So with this focus, let's take 2 to 3 minutes to meditate on.
같은 게 경험 쳐봐지 정안에 선을했다. 단지 저랑에 자기 첨부 수지 대해서 저 간대전에 로그인이라나 아니 게 루즈티 해고 대시비 다달래는 게 최대 요에 세치지 렌저 도아이나 된다 다다 대송아서.
So with these motivations, then your purpose of being here and listening to the teachings of the Dharma is to will then become purposeful and meaningful, as we have motivated earlier. That your purpose of being here is not wasting one's time and making one's time meaningful and purposeful. So how can we make it right now is now to make meaningful and purposeful of one's own time is by listening to the teachings of the Dharma.
나 된저기 단다 첨부 루지에는 대 탑템보보다 설에서 나라나 아니 로니 동마자기 템보 투병병이 토마송 되네 자가기 변주 속에니 땡라포 냥래제 오버랑질라 총 되네 뼈줄로 싸워 속이죠 아니 뼈지 개바 속에니 냥래제 아니 랑질라 총네 아니 냥토 강가 델 버상이지 있는 것도 되게 거스 법은여레스.
So now the skillfulness or the method to achieve or to fulfill the ultimate purpose of self and others is the method in skillfulness is actually taught by the Buddha Shakyamuni more than 2,500 years ago, and this is then be transmitted. His teachings are then transmitted to the great masters or the pandits of India, who have not only transmitted to them, but having transmitted his teachings to them, and they have undertaken an intensive practice and have gained high levels of realizations. Similarly, then those great pandits have transmitted all the teachings of the Buddha to the great the translators of Tibetan translators, who then not only received and translated all those teachings of the Buddha, but also engaged in those practice and gained great spiritual realizations. So whatever the teachings and the practice, the realization they may have accomplished, they may have gained, are then put it into a volume or the text from which we are receiving the teachings.
아니 완전 된저기 라마 자치모도 예니 가르송샤요레서나 닝에 단지서나 랑신인가 예된 만나와 주시지 탑도 된샤요레스.
So what kind of teachings they have received and what kind of teachings they have given for us is to the teachings of unmistaken teachings of how to achieve the ultimate state of happiness or the happiness of other sentient beings.
맞소이 멤버 캐파이나 돈보 메이나레 신체 간레이나 코마 샤주제네 니 코론 올라 가르가르 팽도 따지 창소제네 니 냥뇽이 토네 니 멤버 캐보 자지로 대나기 강한숨바 되니 랑질라잖아 또바 랑질레 토네 니 델마 보윤디 랑노에스케요 말와 말라들 존송송에 들어와.
The Buddhas or those great practitioners in the past, so like a skilled physicians. The skilled physicians would first take the numerous the experiments of the research before they actually get to practice medicine. Gone through a lot of surgeries and finding out different kinds of of sicknesses of the people and so on, and having went through all the stages of the trainings, they have become as skillful of physicians. In the same manners, Buddha actually examined himself and how we can really treat our own mind, and having went through a great experiment of how to work one's own negative states of mind, would having gone through all those experiments and gained such a skilled and experiences, have now written in a text and for the text for benefit of other beings.
Ona tendriki chue de chenye kante chekore salawa ina ani tenpa thoma chunko kwange na zo de rangi tsayi lame pa de chu somba de ani rangi kano ki tenda le yin zane nge rangi kano ki tenda cheke yin se de gogo.
So what kind of motivation that one need when one is receiving such a teachings of the Buddha is now right from the beginning of the Buddha's teaching. The Buddha's teaching is the purpose of his teaching is to benefit self and other beings. Similarly, when we are receiving the teachings of the Buddha Dharma, the teachings of the Dharma, one must have the same motivations of the fulfilling the purpose of one's own self and that of other beings.
Ona tendriki pi tabu shugu china ta kari higa yin sen songa ina ani yongo jite tsayi sache japan pa yin.
If this is a teachings of the Dharma, immaculate teachings of the Dharma, so what kind of teaching that we will be receiving today? So then we will be teaching the teaching that we are receiving will be touching this great stages of the path to enlightenment.
Katino uzu jana sache koron la goaji arata sala udo karang la lone nyanga pechembo.
So as I mentioned, all the time, important to really to memorize those outlines. Those are the very important outlines, and not only just reading and memorizing it, but try to think about the meaning of those outlines. It's a very, very useful.
Ta tendriki tsayi sache jepala nyeri langcha tsawa shenye tenpi tsena tena lo cheta chanyi rinpa nyeche ta tombo dritsa ta tena lo cheta chanyi rinpa la nyeri deyi tena nyingpo lenpi shi kuiwa ta nyingpo cheta lenpi tsui nyeri ta tombo dritsa ta nyingpo cheta lenpi tsui la yang nyeri yongchi yi naja la ngenpa chepa ta nyingpo lensi ngori ta tombo dritsa ta nyingpo lensi ngori la songri jubu chungin da timo yin langche rinpa nyangsa lensi jubu rinda timo yin langche rinpa nyangsa jubu chenpi langche rinpa nyangsa lensi yuji ta tena tombo dritsa ta jubu rinda timo yin langche rinpa nyangsa lensi la songri jubu chungin samba chepa re jambi tsi de chebi tsi tela lopa toba sewa taba ta de rebe langche rangche tena pe paas ta tino yin nga so sachi samba de chebi tsi se de ketan ti katu de le te kasin de pecha loe de zo tsayi jubu ringi sachi nipa ngenchungi san jubu ringi lo che na kati che gore ti katu le de la da.
So we are now on the middling scopes. The practitioner of the middling scopes is almost ending at we're almost completing this the explanation of the middling scopes.
당가서 ngone thone ki lane to ayena 당가서 조쇼지 가르스나 조시만 로에 들어와 당가서 조쇼지 로와 소소를 되네 선나도 ayena 강연 자다 세고라 다 간지 조시만 로에 돼 당가서 강가를 땡기 버와.
So it is very certain that we all have a future life. We all will, we will transcend from this life to the future life. That is certain, with no questions asked.
Ona ngaso josho tena tel khate kharcha agur kange metu khate kharcha agur lana.
So what kind of skillfulness that we need to have to make a better future life?
Tela ten shiman roye te kari onge dogor sana juche jema de dogor. Jude chengin joa chena dogor.
So the very next life or the future life will coming into being due to the causes and conditions. Our future life is actually under the control of causes and conditions.
Ta jichen joa chena dogo ya na ani jichen yaboy na kan dogor jichen docha na kan dogor se de joa nge pat legro.
So then one can ask the question, since the future life is depending upon its own causes and conditions, so then what kind of causes and conditions one need to accumulate to have a future life. So then the next question that one can ask is, what is causes condition that is considered to be a positive, and what are the causes and condition that are considered to be a negative?
당한 속에 노아리도 계속 봐유셔와. 간제 생리바 계산은 레바다 차기 레가 생이게 노아기리 되라 미기리 생이지당 다 생진이 된도기리 생이지니 무슨 통들어 왔을라다.
So let's talk about, there are two kinds of beings. Let's not talk about 6 realms or the six beings in the 6 realms, but let's reduce this to the two kinds of beings. One is the human beings, another is the non-human beings, such as animals and so forth. There are two kinds of beings are there.
하나 대니 먼저 가르치는 용거래 세네. 인조 따지 조금 제거라.
So why there are
차다 레바다 자긴로도 지바라.
Why there are two kinds of, two different kinds of beings, and one is human beings, another one is animal or the non-humans, and how those two different kinds of beings are coming into being.
다 된리지 깨쳐 대시에도 지쟁이 조언로고 요나 다 지쟁 상인지게 로하면도 로고 예바도 세보 세장 차용거라.
So with this, then it is very certain that it is due to the different causes and conditions that give rise to the different rebirth, such as human beings and non-human beings.
하나 다 되네 아니 다 지체야 가르래서는 계제시면이 다 먹겠지 본게 추천생이지 송화이나 아니 로아미기리 저거래 아니 도자지 저와이나 된돌라 수비리 저거래서 깨 마시레시 저거래.
So then the question, then the answer to this question is like, if one creates a causes and conditions, the positive causes and conditions will give rise to the positive result or the positive future rebirth. And if one engages in the actions, negative actions, which creates negative causes and conditions, as a result, one will have a negative rebirth or the rebirth within the lower realms. So what is meant by then the positive causes and conditions? What are the positive causes and conditions? Positive causes and conditions here referring to the actions based on observance of the 10 virtuous actions and abandoning the 10 non-virtuous actions.
네 셰바보 캠만에 친절라 아니 렌데길 나잔 제시 마저린저 로와 더 지쟁이 제시 마저린저 렌데 유슈 지테 셰바보 캠레나 디기 깨체시 먹어야지.
So once you are not really accepting the creator or the creation, someone, the absolute being who created one's own life and the situations, one's life and so forth. So long as you are not accepting this, then there is no other things to accept rather than accepting causes and conditions.
된주지 렌데지 나자 양 답아 셰네 된라 방이 림바텔라 니 주비 총이 림바슬라 그래.
So then this the stages of the practice of refraining from 10 non-virtuous actions and engaging in the observance of the 10 virtuous actions, and on the practitioner whose practice is based on this is said to be the small scope practitioner. So then when it comes to this particular practice, the practice of abstaining from 10 non-virtuous actions and observance of 10 virtuous actions, it doesn't necessarily to be oneself as a Buddhist practitioner. It doesn't require oneself to be a Buddhist.
당 지체지 생활던 로그면도 러서나 표정 고송이 내용을 해라. 배는 가속이 수이 내가 멍쳐와데 지체지 생활전 내가 적으라.
So then if you reject that everything that coming into being is not from causes and conditions, then this actually contradicts the fact, the reality itself.
당가서 랑가니 바 다당가서 거서 봐봐. 니 가라리 주변쟁이 랑가 된대로.
So at this point, we're on the middling scope, the practitioner of the middling scope.
단지 주부 총액이 루자 카테 가르를 짜서 저시마 편줄 짜이바 저시마 다 간지 심마치로 다 가르적으로 다 고알 카테 자그래로.
So the target of engaging in the practice of the small scope was to attain high rebirth in one's future life by observing 10 virtuous actions and abandoning the 10 non-virtuous actions. But when it comes to the middling scope, the practitioner of the middling scope, your objective is not to not towards achievement of the high rebirth, but to free yourself, free ourselves from cyclic existence or the samsara.
다 되는 것은 아니 다 저시마 편제되는 땅가서 코알 가르치는 코를 가르 코아 코를 세인데 그것은 가서 된데 연락 주니 시작하러.
So then here, what is meant by samsara here? What is meant by samsara or the cyclic existence? How, in what manner that we are actually, revolving within the cyclic existence or the samsara? So when you ask these questions, then we should reflect upon, one must reflect one's mind upon the 12 links of dependent originations that we talked about earlier.
just 코아에는 just 꼬라져봐로 집바로 꼬라져봐로 실로르면도 꼬라준주제 되도록.
We are unable to, free ourselves from that cycle. We are actually revolving within the boundary, and we are unable to go beyond that.
꼬라 가져 그래서라서나 아니 가서 가제 뇌진제 된다라로 마다베 뇌진제 된다 세고로 타kan 시즌은 남이 받으라 그래다 따다 되게 있는 시 가제 코사기 내들라 꼬라 고고라 다.
So we are revolving within the unenlightened existence or the impure environment, which is also known as the unenlightened existence.
그래서
No.
스코고래라 저거 주나 아니 다 강사센 다 천시 이제 넘어 싶어做는 건지 전에 리얼이 말이라 강사 코어데 나 타니 빙하신이 고고.
So then, who is revolving within the cyclic existence? Is the me or the self? Here referring to one's own subtlemost consciousness.
어느 딘디기 코먹응이지 자유열에서는 저동이디.
So then one can ask a question to oneself that, is it possible that one can, stop this revolving of life of cyclic life, in other words?
당가서에 코드고요나 뭐코니한테 가르쳐 그래서나.
How can we stop this, the cyclic life?
당가서 선에지 동거 제거로 토마코칭에데 단지 말이 봐. 되게 레사 연주 전에 코고도 셀라유디 싸워 단지 말이 받은 문제지 제금 키고도.
So when you ask these questions, then which really makes you revolve within the cyclic existence? When you ask this question, then it will go to the root cause of the cyclic existence is the avidya or the marikpa, ignorance. Ignorance here referring to the grasping of self, self-grasping mind. And self-grasping mind should be identified as the root cause of cyclic existence.
마리바요나 레요나 제와용고도시지. 마리바 메나 레용고면도 레메나 제와용고면도세디 텐진 롱중 로도 인제 희지자용디 아니 뭐 베네슬라 타이어바지 셰야죠.
So as long as there is a avidya or the ignorance, and there will be a karma derived from this avidya or the ignorance. If there's a karma, then there will be a future life. So if you're able to get rid of this ignorance, there won't be any karma that enables one to take a rebirth within the cyclic existence. So what it really entails here is it actually entails that if there is a proper sequence, there is a sequence of getting revolving within the cyclic existence. There is always a reverse order the sequence order, but there is also a reverse order of the cyclic existence. How to get out of that cyclic existence.
다요 덴바실 판로 아니 녀모 비긴주 인고고도네 아니 동해 연수 줘봐도 천하게 대게 천하들래 결론은 좀 어떻게 지시요디 양 콜 코치 지시요.
So then if you go to if you touch the four noble truths, and then due to this origin of suffering, this origin of suffering which deceives us, and we are completely deceived by the origin of suffering, and which force us to, revolve within the cyclic existence. And when you touch this topic, then you could see how the sentient beings are revolving within the cyclic existence in the context of Four Noble Truths.
오나 간티 제고래 살아서나 나좀 감각 가리기 가서 단지 말이 빼지 정원된도네 가려를 총지 제도에 가려를 가보진 되고 해서는 거의 편소라 연된 지고 단을 하도 했습니다.
Having powered by this self-grasping, one then have a strong attachment towards the mundane existence or the mundane excellences. You could not detach yourself from the mundane excellences or the mundane existence.
오나 그냥 가서긴 진짜한테 너의 말에 왜서로 아이나 좋아지 거면 제거로 맞춘 진짜한테 너의 말에 왜서는 배나 전화기 가보지긴 대형을 선을 동대로 와 소소 가서 가고 해서는 가보지선 대형아래 주다토로 되자로.
So then you can ask the question that is my way of perceiving things in event, is this an erroneous way of perceiving things in event, or it is a correct way of perceiving things in event? So then let's go to the 5 desire objects, because normally when we are engaging, our mind is engaging, we're engaging with those 5 desire objects. So then you can examine yourself how you perceive those 5 desire objects and how it appears to you, appear those 5 desire objects to yourself.
오늘 가서 이제 사는 돈으로 아니 나 가삭 야쇼데 좀 제보니서 아이나 로 핀소 소방아 좀 제보 쉬우지 거세지야지로 내가이 노게 빼지 돈보 알랭아서 줄는다고 지자와이나 내가 할 순제보지 그거였어 라와이나.
So then let's begin from out of these 5 desire objects. Let's begin from the form, in other words the physical form. Think about, I must have a beautiful physical form, or the physical body, in other words.
오나 저기 순제보 니만의 저랑의 순제보 거서 단단 맞잖아요. 순제보 제라마서에 라와이나.
So if you long to have a beautiful body, and haven't you gotten any physical body or the physical beautiful form or the physical form in the past?
ngañima gose de dalo sande te mabe de jate tanda nga gumendulana kum nguye chamaso ro nima ngala gose gabuchi de ngara so de ta te remendu ta gumendulana yungubi ne sene me bitaro.
So now here if you says that if I must have something that the form or the physical form, something that is so attractive, something that I think is a beautiful, or something that is a good looking person and so forth. So then haven't you ever considered someone as the most beautiful or the good looking person in the past? Haven't you met someone like that? And why don't you really think of that person, that particular person, as a good looking person or a nice person? So when you ask this question, then the way you actually perceiving things, something that you really think that is perfect for you, may not correspond to the reality.
Dendruki Sana Chiton, the Chu Nima Raja, Tantara, Tarandu, Karachan, Chu Siamere Salaina.
So if you look at it in that way, so we become so dissatisfying, become so dissatisfied. We are not really learning a lessons ourselves, because you have the same kind of desire for, like maybe several years ago, that you may have thought that particular person had been your most, deared one, someone who cherished a lot, and you think that this is the right person for me. But then that didn't happen, right? Now you have changed it. Now again you are looking for the same thing. When you have this, when this kind of situation arises, isn't that something that is questionable, that one need to ask a question, how it is? Because this is, I'm looking for something that I think is the most wonderful person.
Raya Chala Dayan Johan Rochungi Ji, Samba Dayan Johan Rochungi Ji, Ju Dongachilla Lonsha Nemado, Danja Chilla Lonsha Meva in Zane, Chuhit Majori.
So we are not contented, because everything that we desire is in the nature of, in the transient nature. It doesn't really, remains eternally. It momentary change is happening. So without knowing that, even though that you may have come across with all those difficulties, someone whom you consider as a best person for you, but then it didn't happen, but you are still looking for the same kind of situation in the future. But then here the question is, so long as you have this physical body, as a human beings particularly, we have to rely on those 5 desire objects. Those are the sustenance of one's own life. So now, but then, if one is able to free oneself from this, free oneself from the grasping at self, the self-grasping mind, then we don't really need to rely upon those 5 desire objects. So according to the Dharma, it says the cyclic life, the cyclic existence, in other words, or the cyclic or the mundane excellences, or the cyclic excellences, is like the nest of the vicious snake. So if you're able to see this cyclic existence as a vicious snake, do you really think it is the environment that is desirable? So if this is the case, then why we really think that this is a wonderful place? Why we have too much desire to be in this unenlightened existence, or the cyclic existence? It is because of ignorance. We are not knowing the reality of the cyclic existence. So therefore, it is due to our ignorance pertaining to the reality of cyclic existence, which enables you to generate attachment and attachment towards the cyclic existence.
Lama Chebana Sumaro, Zoka Zorandra Koande, Gayetseta, Tony Losejero. Matsu Tenrichi in Nedane, Zoka is Zonra, member is Zonra Tela, and Meto gets Sienagi, Linkana Gitane Dedors.
If you look at the Lama Chepa, the Guru Puja, where it says, Soga Tsonrata Korwa, which means it is the cyclic existence, the samsara is like an unbearable, unbearable prison. Unbearable prison, but at the same time, we as ordinary beings are looking at this unbearable prison as a beautiful garden.
Dindrichi sona tele doe yore, do gore, do ne, and Chibutambaso, Nanu yore, salada. Matsu pata da petoloy, the machine solichiro.
So then, the great practitioners have seen in that way the nature of cyclic existence as being a prison of unbearable prison. And so therefore, with this kind of, having realized the reality of the cyclic existence and those great beings, the noble beings, have then, generated a revulsion or the repulsion against this cyclic existence and gain the liberation from the cyclic existence.
Roa, tena kui tsawa danzi maripa ye xingwa dun drobe rani danzi maripa ye xingwa dun droba chi yi kuwa chi ma chawa yena shiki desa ki rawa tela desan chi xena legu mare.
So long as you are unable to, understand that you yourself is remaining under the power of this, under the control of self-grasping mind, you will not be able to generate disenchantment towards cyclic existence.
Dindri danzi maripa ye xingwa dun dro di ongi kuwa kusi ki neta chi ma chi ye chi nge so na wane chi tantaranga chi tawa chi chona sange chi lo chi le yo sarwa.
If we really know that you are remaining under the control of this self-grasping mind, and then you will have a genuine wish to really to free from this self-grasping mind, and you will have a genuine wish to free yourself from this cyclic existence.
Tiringe ngenju ki sambati yabuchi chotona radati to ne trengo salada.
So the reason why I'm going through this explanation is to this understanding of this nature of cyclic existence will enable one to understand the genuine renunciation, what is meant by genuine renunciation.
Harsan chusu ngapa jabare chaso toa kuji jego do kuji kundo beji pansa de ja kama chen nyeki pansa ja gi salada.
So today let's take
Andrew Tunga Tong.
Since this is Andrew's birthday, so let's take a 20 minutes break today.
Thank you.
So if you look at the three principles of the path, it says, when by having trained in that way, there is not arising even for a second of the attraction to the perfection of the cyclic existence, and all day and night the intention seeking liberation arises, then the thought of renunciation has been generated. So this is how we should train ourselves to really generate renunciation.
간사대 랑주리 랑의 슈거다 랑의 슈무주기 타년 문제 제사대 년주기 상바랑질의 여미 제 만에 제일 많이 세거라 다 근데 토마 상상 제사대 년주 상바를 생각을 살아.
So criteria for someone who has actually ventured on the path, in other words, the first path, with the path of accumulation, is determined by whether or not one had generated, one had actualized, or one had realized the genuine renunciation, uncontrived renunciation.
예 단질라바는 가서 대다 공비 거의 빈소서 된 가서 토마 매판에 단답봐도 가쇼 가르잖아. 아니 거의 빈소 들어와.
Right from the beginning this time up until now, we have been so attached towards this perfection of cyclic existence, in order to the mundane excellences.
지단에 가에 말은 가서 이게 단질라는 폰보디 초도 맞서 세야 돼. 대양 알을 때는 초부 초아질 라랭으로 대양을 땜바질 라랭.
So then it is because that we have to rely on the five desire objects. Having so long as you have to rely on the five desire objects, so then automatically that you have attachment towards perfection of cyclic existence.
덴데기 내당의 덴히기 내당 행해지 시용디 고 대상지 시나 잡을게 자고 말이 맞쪽에 단다 하도 가이나 베디 노도 매비 소리지로 제 매비 소리지
덴지 내다
덴데당 덴시기 내스 정말 지시 행해지나 콘도 추해지지를 콜 도해야지.
So now if someone who has the understanding of dependent originations, or the dependent arisings, and four noble truths, then it is not that hard, it is not that difficult to really to detach ourselves from this, the five desire object. In other words, detach ourselves from generate the detachment from the perfection of cyclic existence.
나초 님이 건대형 알레 님이 간다 그러서는 대형아 코노 카툴레 님이 메타와제 코스기 조고도 꼭 간디제네 용고도 라니 콜 가르치는 가보차기도 세야 돼 따지 제제로.
뒤딱 제고 말했어요.
대따지 제고 나초 단단에는 코이 비솔는 님이 다 그랬어야 되다 빛이 칠레 개비소는 개체 차로도 하슬라다.
So what is important for us as a practitioner is to really to find the shortcoming of having attachment towards the perfection of cyclic existence. This is not happening with us because we are so habituated and we are so accustomed with having too much attachment towards the perfection of cyclic existence.
고 인지 미지 콜 우주적 그 예친지에 레벨스라더라 하나 거의 빈솔에 인지 미지 우주전 대 그래베스.
So in fact, we are putting a lot of efforts and exert a lot of efforts to really to accomplish those five desire objects based on our attachment.
말이 나로라 다가라였는데 나 때마다 그거면서 라기 러나 로아 따다 대사레벨라다.
So then just think about it. If whatever the resources that you may have, if you be contented with that, and what kind of feeling and an experience that you may have, just imagine yourself, instead of having too much attachment toward this five desire object, to be contented with whatever the resources that you have with it. So you see what kind of mental attitude there might be, and the experience that you may have by doing that.
딘도기 깨서 시시어이나 맞수 춘주 다서 전환성에 빼는 허당 고주반에서도 뒤 단답하도 나 딘디지긴 되바 단달라 깔레 잡아래 있는 레버칸라 테 간산테 요더라 얘나야 단다 저히 저디 한 드셔서야 지기 로지 누에살라다.
So if we really think that the perfection of cyclic existence, in other words, that the achievement of one's own desired objective, if that is our ultimate goal, if that is what we think is our ultimate state of happiness, then let's think about right from the beginning of our life, going to school and all the way to the college, having finished your college, then you build up your career, and then you are aiming towards achievement of your happiness right from the kindergarten all the way to your college, and then building up your career. Then you have your own desired job based on your education and so forth. But you still think, do you really think this is, you really think that you are satisfied with that, or you still are not? And if you really think carefully and you are still looking for something else, why that is happening to us?
소소 내선데 가서 제카치를 선다던데 다가라래. 토마 차바선데 단다발을 지면 동지데 뭐탱이래가 제는마도 리세스 진이요 말아.
So right from the beginning up until now, see, Bob, we are not satisfied at all. There's always dissatisfaction. The dissatisfaction is always there. Regardless of what you have and who you are, the dissatisfaction is always with us. Why this is happening to us? In fact, someone who have more desire, someone who have more attachment, has some more difficulties. So if you look at it in this way, then so we never look back and see what is really what is going wrong here. We always become dissatisfied and uncontented and so forth, and we never attempt to really to see look back and what is wrong with us, what is happening.
So
now how can we really begin with to see and look back ourselves, and why that we are so becoming dissatisfied, and we are becoming dissatisfied and uncontented. In order to do that, first of all, you just look inward and to find the self. Where is I that we always cherished? Where is it?
Thank you.
When you go through this critical analysis of finding the self or I, then if that I, the very I that you are looking for, cannot be pinpointed, if it cannot be find it, then up until now, from the beginningless time, do you want to be happy? I want to be happy. Then the very purpose of your activities and all this doesn't really correspond to the reality. So the more attachment that you have towards self, the more egoistic you will be. The more egoistic you become, and the more you become a disunity with others. So then similarly, it is even then you become more dissatisfying and uncontent. You become more uncontented. So when you really go through this kind of analysis, then you really have to think about, I should find something else, some other kind of method to really to get rid of those dissatisfactory and uncontent attitude of uncontentment.
딱 가서 단다 카에 말이 지 주번데다 제터 매버 소리지다. 아니 드르기 내한데를 제터 매버 소리지 좋아해네. 또 좋아되게 무는 진들어 와다.
We are being in the center of a mental attitude of that cannot be separated yourself. I cannot be separate from my own body. I cannot be separated from certain place that you really think is best for you. And I cannot really separate from something that you really love and so forth. So this is how we are habituated ourselves, how we were accustomed with.
대나기 기수보다 대나기 리겔린티 차당 코노 라차치데 아니 생진의 돈이 요야여리스라고 송으라.
That's what thank you so much.
단단 가족이 지 뇌지지다 가서 뇌지지게 생진 차바 나기지 생진의 된 장비 돈을 된다대바 연수 줘봐지 여봐지 뭐네 시에거라.
So just then now think about all these things that are happening due to not being understanding, not realizing the true nature of one's own mind. If you're able to understand the true nature of one's own mind, and this kind of mental attitude will not arise.
진짜게 생기는 때 장비 돈으로라 하나 배는 이제 된다고 이제 차야나 되게 랭거 몇 배는 가르랬어요, 제로.
So if this is the case, then why don't we really try to look and try to find the nature of our own mind?
드르기 주보치 차거도 세게 차도 나도 치세는 속어야 면도아.
So we don't really have to have to rely on the gross level of physical body.
다 된지게 오늘 돈에 린진 연수 줘봐지 차이 된다라 아니 단다 가내는 거 주고 그래서나 아니 고인님이다 아니 델라메비研究 삼바 아니 대내 젠팅을 보 상주기 생 아니 대내 양답에 따와서는 랑촌랑송이 돈은 아니 생주도 비엔티년 거지로.
So it is therefore for the practitioner what is required is to right from the beginning you should understand the reality of cyclic existence of the samsara and then try to generate a strong disenchantment towards the cyclic existence and to have an uncontrived aspiration to gain liberation from cyclic existence. On top of that, then one need to engage in the practice of development of bodhicitta. On the basis of developed bodhicitta, one then engages in the practice of the wisdom understands the emptiness or the perfect view of emptiness.
Jani kwayi nimi sanne ngenjuchi maje bado ani yenla mi binji chenpo yonsayo mare salada.
Until and unless you are able to generate renunciations by finding the faults of cyclic existence, it is not possible for one to generate a genuine compassion towards others, period.
가슴이 타들라 주비 진기 추건되니 투당기 티든 성거래 소원진도 등원에 돈에게 저런게 되는 저런 존장들라고요 따져버려 인지 미지로 내가 손디 가슴이 조사되라 네 주변 진기 추건데 투당기 티든 진세디 대준을 마셔서 될려네 랑가진다 지는 로사요 말.
So previously in the text that we actually touched that the practice of the middling scope must be one must take the practice of middling scope as a sole practice, without which it's not possible for one to generate bodhicitta.
당한 소때 초중디 거의 해가 가서는 주변 정이 랑어도 주변 정다 태모에 랑이 가까이 봐서라다.
So the common practice that there's a difference between the common practice of the middling scope and an actual middling sports. There's a difference between the two. Common practice of middling scope and the middling practice of the middling scope. There's a difference between the two. So it's important to know.
단단한 소리 협이 주변 정이 랑데 상주 선비죠 거래. 주변 정이 태모 많이 별한데 상주 선발에 요 말에.
So in other words, the middling scope, shared middling scope, in other words, shared middling scope or common middling scope. The shared middling scope or the common middling scope can be practiced by the bodhisattvas. The actual the practice of the middling scope is not be practiced by the bodhisattvas. You get it? Shared common practice is practiced by the bodhisattvas. Shared practice of the middling scope, okay, is practiced by the bodhisattvas. But the actual practice of the middling scope is not practiced by the bodhisattvas. There's a big difference between the two.
The Karasanaro, Rantilla Ninju, Sambachi Majaba, Jen, Niji Chambo Yunsakuro Yamari. Niji Chambo Yusam, Shanju Sen Yomaro.
Without having a strong renunciation, the genuine renunciations, it's simply not possible for one to have, generate compassion towards others. Without having a compassion, it is not possible at all to generate bodhicitta.
Tiki Sanotone, Ninjuki Samba City, Shanchu Samba Gore, and Nieto Gore, Ranja Gore, Tipa Chesuningal Gore.
So therefore, renunciation, the practice of renunciation is required for bodhisattva, the practitioner of the Pratitya Buddha, and practitioner of Sherbakas. It requires for all those, three practitioners of the three vehicles.
That drinking in Jewish Samba Karasalana, and Kui Pinsola, Roa, you make it on Yensenko to Tabatani law. Dendrichi lining in Jewish Samba Gonzing Roa.
So when you become a disenchantment towards the perfection of cyclic existence, and you have generated, your wish of gaining the liberation from cyclic existence becomes simultaneous, both day and night. And this is the criteria that you have, criteria of true renunciations.
Sociology here, you can Ninju Sambas and the Carre, Segorzelana. And Koi Pinsola touched the Nimitani, Tapala Kichizan Mandel, Logia Laguro. Natsuchi Layang Guriro.
So we should know what is the criteria over renunciation. The criteria of renunciation is someone who realized the faults of cyclic existence. In other words, who realized the nature of cyclic existence and generated the genuine wish to gain liberation from samsara. It's said to be the true renunciations, or the criteria of a true renunciation.
Drinking in just some Rangile be talk Garasana, and then the Yana Junior gonna quack it down, and Dukin you're gonna quack it the Yanda Sanoton, Teleshembalo.
So, what is the method or the skillful means for you to generate such renunciations? Well, then one needs to focus on the practice of what we call the 12 links of dependent originations. Based on understanding of 12 links of dependent originations, you will be able to understand, you will be able to know the nature of cyclic existence, suffering nature of cyclic existence. And similarly, you need to think about the first two noble truths, origin and the suffering and the origin. How the suffering and origin of suffering enables us to revolve within the cyclic existence and to find the faults in this suffering nature of cyclic existence.
Tendri Quadin Sombola, Nijininga, Numogisoa Chiloqualegro, Nijiniba Tombo, Nijininga de Legisoares. Let the Numogisoares allow you to bet Numosing into Ducharoa. Duchachi in Rebina Yawa Yunshimaro.
So, with this kind of understanding, then you will be able to understand, with understanding the proper understanding of 12 links of dependent originations and the first two noble truths will enable you to know the environment and the sentient beings within the environments are coming into being from the karma. coming into being from the karma, and karma is then created by the delusions or the mental afflictions.
가르르세나 녀모기존에 야 메요 가르체르세나 미싱에 존조로 모비고 나고노 존조로.
So long as that the cause that is created by the delusions or the mental afflictions, it is negative. It is not a good. It's not a desirable causes, because the cause that we have created, derived from delusions or the mental afflictions, because the mental afflictions, when you are relying upon, when your actions are based on mental afflictions, then it is based on ignorance. So long as there's something that you do out of ignorance, then nothing will come, will be right.
주변 중에 나선 드네질라라고도다. 주변 링이 삼바선 드네질라라고도. 주변 링이 삼바집에 다시 내려도 와서네로. 라니 인지 미지 되해와죠.
So you have to know, since we are gone through this Lam Rim, and now we are on the middling scope, the practitioner of the middling scope. We almost finished the practitioner of the middling scope. So what is the actual practice of the small scopes, and what is the objective of the small scope? What will be the result of engaging, having engaged in the practice of the small scope? Similarly, what is the practice, what is the nature of the practice of the middling scope, and what will be the objective of the middling scope, the practitioner of the middling scope? What will be the result, having practiced the middling scope, engaged in the practice of the middling scope, and so on?
드르기 내단치 세외디 단단한 센데 치바집이 한테 간르전에 사천될 해요리. 한테 간르전에 멜해와래서 이게 바 소속이 센데 치바집이 가사 코로나만 세네 미게달래 해진도 롤 뉴멀 투에 레레 투에 간르전에 레르세지.
So everything that that we do, and everything that causes and conditions that we may have accumulated are actually rooted in mental afflictions. And so long as one's actions is based on the mental afflictions, and the karma that is created based on the mental afflictions, the result will be not beyond cyclic existence.
로장스나 냥내체스나 베나가서 다는 메토델 가고치 그래 코노 디크요 메토 코노마도 쿠이 주가니요 코 토마가니요서 사지진 땅마로 된다고니지 코노 카투가서 가고치 된데 소리지.
So we are the way we actually have too much attached towards cyclic life or the perfection of cyclic existence. It's not really going through how the cyclic existence, how the cyclic life coming into being. We're not really looking at the causes and condition of the cyclic life. Just like a flower that is in front of me, when I look at the flower, and I see the color of the flower and shape of the flower, and I like it. And you are not really, looking for the causes and condition of the flowers. You simply liked it, and you have attached to these flowers and so on.
당가서 내가 니카토 내가 가리인살라나 될라 주변주나 튜모이 삼바데 아니 샹주 삼바나지 투당게 됐던 생그레스 진den잖아래 란den잖아요 거의 녀바도 투당게 됐던 생그레스 맞아 감각이 소설에 냐야 된다.
So we should always keep this the middling practitioner, the practice of the middling scope, the shared practice of the middling scope is the practice that are done by the bodhisattvas. So this is what we need to know, and what is meant by the shared practice of the middling scope.
Doing enjoy samba singing mayuna and jela tsawaki ni jichambose de yoya mare.
Without having renunciation, it is simply not able to have a pure compassion for others.
아니 나도 가디네 젠라 자와자가 세계체지어로 아니 그 내가 가투그래 주세서나 인연중에 삼바들 두그래.
We talk about compassion, and we teach about compassion, And we say that we claim that I'm meditating on compassion and so forth. But if you lack the understanding of the renunciations, then the compassion is not possible at all.
Rani koi dong he san to ne mende bi lo che de ngin jung se la den ri ge san chi de me jen da la po yu de ni ji sen la go.
Looking at one's own suffering and the nature of secular existence, and having a strong desire or the strong wish to overcome the suffering of one's own self and free oneself from secular existence is said to be the renunciations. When you direct this particular mental attitude towards other sentient beings, in other words, having a wish to overcome the suffering of other beings and having a wish to overcome freeing other sentient beings from the secular existence is said to be the compassion. So it is the same mental attitude, but you just have to, one is towards oneself, and other is just we are directing towards others. So this is the path that we need to venture onto, spiritual path. Just being on the cushion and think about it. So today we'll stop here with this because exactly at 6 o'clock somebody is coming here to get me. I did not touch the text today because so this is a good to stop here because we have a good on a good paragraph right now. So we will be stopping here today. So if one is a real Dharma practitioner, then the Lam Rim is the one that need to be practiced. If one longs to achieve high levels of realizations, it's the Lam Rim is that one that enables one to gain the high levels of realizations. If one want to read the Dharma, the Lam Rim is the one that need to be read. And then if one wants to practice the Dharma, and Lam Rim is the one that need to be practiced. There might be a different name of the subject matter of the text, but the actual teachings will be always based on Lam Rim. Stages of the path. From the beginningless time up until now, I have been trapped within this unenlightened existence or the secular existence. It is because I haven't realized renunciations. Henceforth, I will do my best to engage in the practice which enables me to generate renunciations and lead all sentient beings to the state of liberation and enlightenment. And may all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the 10 directions to be bless me to be able to do this.
Rono mi dre lo go ne yan da ya mi. Rindu mi le zon ye ne ka da yang ba ka shi sa ba de. Lo mi ma re ge don zho wa na. Na ren ja ye on bo da ju chi. Te ma sun bi ce ra gun do yang. Anju zhe je zo ne. Ten bi ren ba gun san lang je cho. Nye ne zhu bi je na. To bi lang je ne. Xiu da zhe yue zhang bi ta ge je. Zhu yue yue je min ba se je ne. Ya yue den ba yu ren sin ju ji. Den ba ren qin chu ge ma je ba. Nyam ba je bi shu de ne. Nye je chen bu yi ra ju ba yi. Pien de de se wa shi ba shu. Se jin ja yue mi zhong chen le le. Le zhu xiang chu lang zhe ren bie zhang. Tang de nang zhe yi na bie de xin. Ya yue zi ba ren de zhong ju ji. Mi de jin zhu xi jin. Ge jin si ji me dang mi mi gun. Se ra gun du jia yue nga ba yi. Nang da lang dang zhe wa ma ju ji. Gan zi te ba chu la chu chu ji. Si jin zhu la zhen ba di yue zi. Nang ji da du zhu xi jin. Zha xi jiang ci shu gun chao ju ji. Lam mi gu ce ra de jin. Nang ga zhen le shu zhi jie ba dang. Lo zang dian bi zhe mi sa song ji. Zhao yue mi se da du nian ju ji. Ra yue gu yue xin gan su. Pien dang de wa ma le zhong yue ne. Xin re zhen wang dian zhen jia zo yi. Xiao bi xin de ba du dian ju ji. Na yue zhe da qian ba dang. Gun du zang bo te yang de jin de. Te da gun je je se da lo xie. Ge wan de da tang je ra du ngon. De zong xie bian jia wa tang je je. Nga wa gang la chu du nga ba de. Da xin ge yue za wan de gun jiang. Zang bo shi zhi ra du nga wan je.